Yeah. And we are live on the Google Hangout on air. Let me fire up Discord again and see if I figure out what's going on. Say hello, Steve.
Hello, Podfeet. How are you?
I'm good. Say hello to the live audience.
Oh. Hello, live NosillaCast audience.
So maybe when Dorothy was having the problem today, it was a Discord problem. Okay, I am back in the Discord. Sounds better now. Okay, cool.
Good.
That's all it took. Just trying to get sounds better. Excellent. So that answers the question when Dorothy and I were having trouble. It was like complete garbly gook. So I think when you first go in, it picks a server, a physical server, and maybe gets a new one.
So you just got a new server, basically, which was better.
I guess maybe something like that. Let me see if the live audience can hear this. I presume they can't. Yep. Kevin says yes. Good. Bring that down some. All right. It is time for roll call. I'm not sure how to do roll call these days because some people show up in here like, what does that say? Jedikai is in the chat room. JEDIKV.
Jedi KV, I am guessing.
Jedi KV playing Android Studio. So I don't know whether they're actually in there. Oh, Dorothy just joined. So Dorothy, wait, is she in listening? Yes, Dorothy is listening. I just found out from the live audience that I sounded all garbly like you sounded to me earlier today when we were doing the screen share, and I had to quit Discord and go back in to fix it. So it very likely was nothing on your end to do it. iChart Radio is here.
Hey.
Ew. Yay. How exciting. All the cool kids are here. Oh, iChart Radio isn't listening. And listen in the left sidebar at iChart Radio. So I don't know whether he's been here before.
That's Mike, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he has. Your head is cut off just a touch.
Okie dokie. I feel like it slid over too.
There we go.
Better? No, too high. There?
That's about right.
Okie dokie. Well, I better get me. I'm going to DM you real quick in Discord. I do that. Maybe it's over here. There you are. I'm going to DM you. Okay. See my message? I'm sending, I'm passing notes in class. Yes. Thank you very much, Steve.
Mm-hmm. Anytime. Are you ready to get this show going?
You think I should?
I think so.
Time?
Where's Tesla, by the way?
I don't have her.
Because I didn't take her collar off.
I don't have her.
All right. She's nowhere to be seen for now. She may make an appearance.
Uh-oh. Oh, that is an important thing. Last week we introduced you to Kyle and Nikki's new puppy. Shh, it's a secret. They haven't Facebook announced the puppy yet, but sadly they changed her name away from being Sandy, which I told Sandy ahead of time because I knew she'd be really sad about that. But it's actually Charlie is the name of the puppy.
Sorry about that, Sandy. But do we have any Chucks or Charlies in the audience maybe that could benefit from this?
The namesake. That's actually a really good idea. All right. I know it was very sad. Well, we could just call her Sandy, you know, for you guys if you want. That's better. All right. Should I start recording?
Yes, please do.
Okay. Everybody got their chapter markers thing set? Okay. Here we go. No tracks are enabled. Sorry. Okay, there we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted by... Sorry, I was reading ahead.
It's not like you ever do that or anything.
Shut up.
It's like 674 times. Over 13 years.
Here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, April 8th, 2018, and this is show number 674. Well, I have some sad news to share, and I've been really fretting about how to tell this story, but here goes. George from Oklahoma City, not to be confused with George from Tulsa, wrote me a note last week asking if I'd heard from Reggie Ashworth recently. Reggie is the developer for two apps I really like and have recommended for years to you, App Delete and VidConvert. George was concerned because while both apps are frequently updated, he hadn't seen an update in a really long time. I suggested George write to Reggie, and I gave him Reggie's address. George did so and got the worst possible answer. Reggie was killed in a car accident last year. I never met Reggie, but I somehow felt close to him. He didn't answer support emails with a curt response, but rather was, friendly and fun in our conversations over the years. We always said we'd get together in person because we only lived like a half hour, 45 minutes apart, but we never made the time. I have to say, I really feel like we lost a jewel in the Mac development community when we lost Reggie. Reggie's family is trying to figure out how to sell the business, but they're not developers and haven't figured out how to even get the source code yet. So I don't have super high hopes that we'll see development for App Delete or VidConvert. There are some good alternatives to App Delete. I've heard both App Zapper from appzapper.com and App Cleaner from freemacsoft.net are good alternatives. I haven't tried either one, but I guess I'll have to go give them a try. Anyway, it feels weird to share that with you, but you've heard me talk about Reggie Ashworth for years, and so just thought I should tell you about that. Well, many of you are big fans of the app Clarify from BlueMangoLearning.com. I advertised for them for years because of how often I use this software to create tutorials for the podcast and help me remember how to do things that I've been doing myself. I announced a while ago that Blue Mango Learning was stopping active development of Clarify to focus on their business software, ScreenSteps. The product, Clarify, is already awesome, so that didn't seem like a devastating blow to me that it wasn't going to be changing. But then we found out that Clarify is 32-bit software. And in the operating system that will come out after High Sierra, presumably this fall, Apple will not be supporting 32-bit apps. At the time they made this announcement, Blue Mango wouldn't commit either way to whether they were going to update it to 64-bit, leaving many of us nervous. Well, I wrote to Blue Mango this week with an email telling him that I was literally losing sleep over this. I was lying awake at night the other night thinking about it. I know it sounds like I live a charmed life if this is the things that keep me up at night, right? Well, I'm not one to wallow in lost apps because there's usually a reasonable alternative. I didn't even bellyache much when Aperture was abandoned by Apple and I moved on to Photos. But there is nothing even close to Clarify out in the market. I tried out StepShot from stepshot.net, which is similar, but in my opinion, it's a very poor substitute. It's also $12 a month or $119 a year. Even for as many tutorials as I do, that's kind of a steep price. Well, I did a search for screen snapshot documentation tools step by step, put all those words into a search, and I found StepShot, and every single other hit on Google was either for Clarify or for ScreenSteps. Now, you might think ScreenSteps itself is the answer, but they discontinued selling their desktop app and only have a cloud service, and it's $99 a month for 5 user accounts. So it's not exactly quite priced for the home user. Well, anyway, I told you I emailed over to Blue Mango Learning and told him I was losing sleep, and Trevor thought that was kind of funny. But anyway, his answer wasn't definitive by any means, but I got a slight glimmer of hope. He told me that ScreenSteps, their main source of income, shares the same code base, and it's also 32-bit. So after they go through the process of upgrading ScreenSteps to 64-bit, they'll have a better idea of how hard it will be to upgrade to Clarify to 64-bit. So he didn't make any promises that they were going to do it, but if he goes through it and he figures out how to do it on the stuff that makes him money, maybe he'll upgrade Clarify. That said, as I was poking around reading some things, I discovered that they did discontinue selling new licenses in January because it depended on a licensed software engine. So while there is a glimmer of hope that they'll upgrade Clarify to 64-bit and it will keep working for those of us who already own licenses, this is not an ideal situation. If anyone does find an alternative to Clarify, I am all ears. I will go all in, learn about it, figure out how to use it. Or if you're a developer, you know what? Go write one for me. I would really, really like that. Okay. Hello, who just showed us? Yeah, they should sell that code to someone that would care. Well, but it's like the same code base as the other stuff they have, so I think that's why they wouldn't do that. I wish they would keep something. I'm very sad.
So you've had a couple topics that you've just discussed. Did you want to put a chapter marker in after your discussion about Reggie?
I definitely don't want to have a chapter marker for Reggie. Let's see. Well, many of you are just thought I should tell you about that. Okay, I could put a chapter marker in for update and clarify. Let's see. Usually I only do it when there's an article to reference.
Yep.
But there isn't an article to reference, so. Okay. All right. Why is that not? Oh, because I'm not that. Want a chapter marker for chit chat? I can put all kinds of chapter markers in. Why not?
What the heck?
Let's see. Copy that link, maybe. There you go.
I think she got the message, TJ.
Dave. Actually, I didn't see it until you said that. All right, here we go. All right, we're going to stop being Debbie Downer here and get back to having fun. Okay. Theory. In Chit Chat Across the Pond this week, Joe Duganzik from Smarter Home Life. I'm going to blame that on you. I heard you making noise. That must have been why I started.
That was me. Let me mute. Now you can proceed.
Okay. In Chit Chat Across the Pond this week, Joe Duganzik from Smarter Home Life is back with a crossover episode between his show and Chit Chat. The first half of the show is him interviewing me about the genesis of my home automation efforts, all the way through current day, what I've been doing lately, and my future plans to make my home smarter. Then we flip the tables and I play Stump the Home Automation Guy with questions from the NosillaCastaways. I'm really glad you guys sent in so many great questions, and I'm so glad we did that Q&A part because I learned a lot of stuff I didn't know. Things I thought I understood, I totally didn't understand. So it was really, really interesting. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. Go check it out at the link in the show notes or click on either the Chit Chat logo at podfeed.com, light or regular, depending if you're on a diet. And if you go to the website, I've embedded Joe's YouTube video for the show notes, which is a fun way to see it rather than just listen. And of course, you can always look for Chit Chat Across the Pond or Chit Chat Across the Pond Light in your podcatcher of choice. Okay, so
I think David may have just joined us. If that's David Ginsburg, David 65?
G65? Dave Ginsburg.
Welcome, Dave.
Dave, have you been in here before? Has Dave been here?
I think he has.
Did you say Mike LaPlante? Have you been in here before? I thought this was your first time. Okay, you guys, I posted this in Facebook. My reminder right now is telling me, just now came up on my watch and on my Mac, it says turn off the LED light. And the time says 6:15. It's 5:15. It's off by an hour. All of my reminders are going off an hour off.
Could that have something to do with daylight saving times?
Wait a minute. Yeah, that's what I thought. Actually, you know what? The reminder changed to the wrong time. I just fixed it. That one actually is wrong. So wait, Mike says not even close. What does not even close mean? Means he wasn't here even.
I think he's been here a few times.
Oh, yeah?
That's what he means. I think so.
Oh, because I said, is it your first time?
Right.
It's Dave Ginsburg's first time, though, isn't it?
Dave, is this your first time?
I cannot be expected to remember all this stuff. All right, let's see. I need to get.
No, David Ginsburg, it is not his first time.
Okay. Well, I think it's because you guys don't have icons. That's why you look new. All right.
No, Mark, it's not your first time. Quit asking.
All right. Let's see. So I'm going to go into, okay. Let's see. I got to do a little more recording before I can do a chapter marker.
Oh, first time using Discord. That's true with a lot of people.
Oh,
who
maybe
haven't
that's
been
it.
here.
Yeah. Discord rocks. I love it. I didn't do roll call, did I?
No. Why don't you do it now?
Oh, I started talking about how I didn't know whether I should do roll call because I didn't know whether some people were here. Well, all right. We've got Steve and Kevin and maybe Donald Burr and Brett and Dave Ginsburg and Michael LaPlante and Jedi KV, Dorothy, John, Nuclear John, totally different Johns. And let's see, Rose from Australia and Richard from Alaska, Rick C, Sandy, TJ, and Mark.
Could Jedi KV be your friend from Japan? What's her name?
Oh, Kaylee Dio.
Yeah, there's a K in there.
Yeah.
You think it'd be a KD, not KV.
Kevin, behave. Oh, behave. Sorry, I made myself laugh. All right, here we go. Well, Steve and I are freshly back from CSUN's Assistive Tech Conference. This is a playground for accessible technology. Such a cool conference. We didn't get a lot of interviews done this time. I think because we had just gotten back from Paris, we were pretty exhausted because we got home, did laundry and turned around and went right back out to a conference. But anyway, we did get a couple of really good ones. Let's get started with one of my favorite interviews.
Okay. This one is so cool. Talk about tech.
Yeah.
Bionic eyes.
Bionic eyes. You know what? It doesn't get better than that. And more advanced bionic eyes. Why did you do that?
That was Kevin.
What? What is going on? Why is it? Okay. I don't know how to get rid of that marker. There it is. Okay. Copy link. This guy we talked to last year. No, that's it. Okay, this is a mess. I can hear you typing, Steve. Why aren't you,
I should
why aren't you just talking? Sorry. I have a mute button for that. All right, let's go find second site here. Yeah, but aren't you glad somebody's working on bionic eyes, Sandy? Let's get started with one of my favorite interviews. Well, last year we came to the second, hang on, which is a fun way to see it rather than just, yeah, I thought so. That got way too much.
You're going to play this whole interview, I take it.
Why?
Because it's interesting enough. I think you should.
All right. In your podcatcher of choice. Well, Steve and I are freshly back from there is a hum on that recording. I'm cutting that out and doing it.
Oh, I didn't tell you I was humming the whole time when you recorded that.
I don't know why it was humming. Okay. Shh. Stop it. Did you start drinking early tonight? What are you doing? Okay, here we go. Steve and I are freshly back from CSUN's Assistive Tech Conference. It's a playground for accessible technology. We didn't get a lot of interviews done this time. I think because we were pretty exhausted just having come back from Paris. We, did laundry and turned around, ran back out and went to a conference. So even though we were exhausted, we still got a couple of great ones. And let's get started with one of my favorite interviews. Did laundry and turned around, ran back out in your podcatcher of choice. Steve and I are freshly. Oh, yeah. You're talking about. There is a hum in the audio. Wait, oh. He just started with one of my favorite interviews. Well, last year we came to the Second Sight booth and talked to Dwayne Tsutsui, and he's back here with a little more information, some updates on some of the devices that they're working on that are very exciting for low vision. Why don't you start us off with what's come along since we last talked to you?
Okay, well, since last year, we've made some very nice strides in our product development efforts in creating new technology, new algorithms to improve the imaging that the patient gets with the Argus 2.
And the Argus 2 was specifically for, is it retinal pigmentosa?
Yeah, it's for patients who have gone completely blind due to retinitis pigmentosa, yes.
Retinitis, I'll get it, yeah. Okay, so in this is audio and video, but in his hands he's got a little model of a head with some eyeballs, and he's going to pull an eyeball out. Don't get scared. It's a fake one.
Yeah, so this is the Argus 2 device, and it consists of an electronics package that is implanted in and around the eye. The package is placed underneath the major muscles of the eye, and then a small incision is made in the sclera right here. And then if you look inside, you can see the array that's tacked onto the back of the eye on the surface of the retina.
And then on the side, you've got a coil here. I assume that's an antenna to talk to the
Yes.
to the device that the person wears on their head.
That's correct. It's an antenna and an induction coil. That's how the device is powered.
Okay, so there's no battery in your eyeball that you got to get replaced.
No, the battery is on the external computer that the patient wears.
Okay, and that external computer is a pair of glasses. Let me just grab that here for a sec.
Yes.
And then pull it off the table. So it's a pair of glasses. That's got to be the induction coil there on the side.
This is the transmitter and induction coil, but the computer is this video processing unit, and you can see the battery here. And this is what is the brains of the whole operation. This is where all the algorithms and signal processing software is located.
So this is pretty cool. I mean, it's not that much bigger than something you'd wear to talk on at a conference. The battery pack thing hooked to your glasses there.
Yes.
Okay, let me set that back down there for you. All right. So you also mentioned that you've gotten more Medicare approval from some states.
Yes, we continue to expand our coverage, or we get positive coverage in states.
So that's how it gets paid for people,
yes,
right?
Yeah, and kind of important, but yeah, that's how we can obtain payment for the system and the surgery.
Okay, so this surgery is going on in real humans right now.
Yes, that is correct. We're close to 300 patients now.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're expanding.
That's really exciting. That's a real deal. That's no CES someday thing. So you idly mentioned that you have another product for people with other kinds of blindness.
Yes, that is called the Orion cortical prosthesis. And as you had mentioned earlier, the Argus is for people who have lost their vision due to retinitis pigmentosa only. There are a greater number of people who have gone blind for other reasons, and that's why we developed the Orion device. The exciting thing about the Orion is that we have, in fact, since we last talked, we have started the clinical trial. It's at two centers, UCLA in Los Angeles, as well as Baylor University in Houston. We did our first implant in January. And we have another one scheduled for next week. And this involves an array that what we do is we bypass the eye and the optic nerve altogether and place an array onto the surface of the visual cortex of the brain.
Oh, wow. Now, you mentioned before we were talking that this is for acquired blindness because your brain has to have figured out how to process those signals at some point in time.
Yes, you had to have had some you had to have some functional vision at some point or another. So if you've had functional vision at some time and then lost your vision, that's what I refer to as acquired blindness, then you would qualify for the device.
Okay, so the Orion, is it the same sort? It's not the same sort of device. It's actually an array. It's a detector detecting light and changing the signals into something.
No, it works a lot in the same way that the Argus does. It's an array of electrodes that works together with a camera that's mounted onto a pair of glasses, and anything that the camera captures, it gets lit up. That shape gets lit up onto the array. And rather than having it projected onto your retina like the Argus 2, it's projected directly onto the visual cortex of your brain. So you don't even need eyes nor an optic nerve to see the flashes.
That is crazy. So what kind of resolution are we talking about today?
Well, it's still a 60 electrode array. So, that's kind of hard to say exactly the resolution.
Is it like 60 by 60 pixels? Or?
No, it's actually 6 by 10 electrodes, but it's kind of hard to really gauge resolution because of the way that an individual electrode, when it activates cells, it doesn't necessarily activate. It's not one.
A nice rectangular array for us.
It's not one particular pixel that they see. Sometimes a single electrode could actually elicit multiple flashes.
So can you give any vague idea? I mean, is it like you could see a doorway, but you couldn't recognize a person, or could you read? What level are we talking about?
Right. You would not be able to recognize facial features or read, but you could see doorways, windows. You could see lines in the crosswalk. Any kind of situation where there's a lot of contrast. If you're walking along a pathway in a park and there's grass along the side, you would clearly see the difference between the pathway and grass.
Oh, wow. So for mobility, it would be outstanding, right?
Yes, it would be very. Our patients,
independence.
Yeah, our patients have reported that it has helped their mobility and their independence greatly.
Yeah, and that's a huge quality of life issue right there. I mean, I'm sure you guys will keep improving this, but for now, that's a huge leap forward. Well, I certainly hope you a lot of success with this. Again, the company is Second Sight. If people want to look into it, where would they go?
Well, you can go to our website at www.secondsight.com, or you can call our toll-free number at 877-756-3703.
Great. Thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you again next year with maybe you'll have even more advances for us, Dwayne.
I hope to be able to report new advances. Yes.
A long time.
I didn't remember how long that one was.
Yeah.
That was like 7.5 minutes.
Yeah, that was really long. I mean, it was it was excellent, but I feel all dorky, just like, here I am, just sitting here talking, playing around.
You were interviewing.
Yeah, but people watching this video are watching me just go derp.
That's why I don't like being live during those portions.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm just gonna put the camera on you.
Are you gonna mention anything about what we're thinking of doing?
Well, yeah. I mean, do you want to?
No, you can do it.
You're killing me.
I don't think it'll make a big difference to them. Actually, it will.
Yeah, it will. Better.
It could.
If it doesn't make a big difference to them, then why would we do it? So we had Tagnabbit. That's not what I want to do. We had breakfast with Oliver Breidenbach and his brother Akeem Breidenbach, who are the guys that own Boink software and have a tool called Mimo Live. And Mimo Live is a way of doing all kinds of crazy video and audio switching stuff that looks really, really nifty. And we had breakfast with them on Thursday or Friday, and they said, hey, yeah, let's just go back to your house and install it. Let's get it set up. And so they set it up for us, and we got it working when they were here. And we said, okay, well, we better practice right away. It's really complicated, but this will get us back to what we used to have, where my vision is that we have a vertical image of me. So it's just like me from the shoulders, and then two separate windows, one with my audio software or whatever else I want to share, and a window of the live chat. That would make the video viewing after the fact a little more interesting. It'd make it maybe a little more interesting while we're doing it. I personally don't know why you just want to look at me. I would watch the software, but then that's what interests me. But think about it. If you guys in the live show could see my recording software, you would know whether I had put in the links correctly, whether I'd put in the chapter markers.
Ironically, this harkens back to about 7-8 years ago when we used to
what
do
I used
this.
To be able to do for free,
was it
right?
Ustream or was it just in one of those two?
Yep.
We'd
I had
put
a
up
tool that did it.
a 3-up, and
yeah, and then it didn't work.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty cool tool, but it's complicated to set up. But one of the really nifty things. What are you laughing about it?
Nothing.
You only want to see Steve. Thank you, Kevin. One of the nifty things is I could have an iPad here where I could do some video switching. So if I wanted to, for example, change it to just show my recording software or something like that, I could switch it. I can mute Steve from here. Sadly, Steve can mute me from either side because
This will be battling muting.
yeah. Well, actually, one of the things we were trying to do is Steve keeps saying he wants to do more to help me create the show because I'm doing an awful lot of the production from this side, from my laptop, and he's got this, incredibly powerful brand new iMac. It sort of feels like some of the load ought to be moved over to his room where he is in, him and his hardware. So this would move a lot of it over there.
But you still have control through an iPad or other means.
Yeah, I would be able to do some stuff. So expect we should start increasing the sausage making. This is sort of that everything's working just fine, so let's change it strategy that I'm so fond of.
Mm-hmm.
But you like the idea, don't you, Steve?
Oh, yeah, I do. Well, because I think, you've got a lot on your plate. We could take something off that plate.
One would think. So anyway, we have it almost working. We could try to play with it, but it's not quite baked yet. It's close though.
Yep.
All right.
We should move on.
We should.
Less sausage for me, please.
How soon will all this be coming? Well, we almost had it working today. We have it all working except for the part that it doesn't broadcast to YouTube. It does. There's a way to do it, but he did something when he was here that we didn't quite catch, and we can't figure it out. So we got to figure it out. So yeah, maybe next Sunday. But
I think your listeners need to know it doesn't change how they access things. It just changes the look of the stream that comes to them, the video stream.
Yeah.
Discord will be the same. Podfeed.com/live is the same.
Yeah. One of the things I am rarely forward thinking and smart when I set stuff up. But the one thing I did that I'm proud of is that I put everything at podfeed.com/something. So if I change the entire back end, you still go to podfeed.com/live. If I stop using Patreon, everybody else says patreon.com/ and then the name of the show, I see podfeed.com/Patreon, because if I change Patreon, let's say we do something completely different, I can redirect that to go where I want you to go. So it's a way of future proofing that everything is at podfeed.com/something. I can fix it later. So I'm kind of proud of that. That's about the only thing. Oh yeah. Kevin's pointing out there is an actual sausage grinder right here.
From the wingman.
We asked about that the other day. Somebody just asked me, why do you have a sausage grinder on your mantle? And I was just like, yeah, you don't even know. It's the guy that stole my childhood horse and held it at gunpoint for ransom.
Yep.
That explains everything. All right, here we go.
Yes.
Well, I got to say, you see why I say that was my favorite interview? That is so cool. I love what Second Sight is doing. And like I said in the interview, I can't wait to go back and learn more. Oh. Dumb question corner music.
Chapter marker?
Yeah, I did do the chapter marker already, but I have to move it to there. And I have to go find my dumb question corner music. And it should be, here it is. Wait, nope, that's the logo. Don't move the logo. Move the GarageBand jingle over. Dumb question, there it is. Right there.
So Mike is asking about the video stream. So Mike, the video stream isn't on Discord. It's at podfeed.com/live.
Yeah. So
that hasn't changed. It's just the chat room has changed to Discord. And and you can hear audio on Discord, which makes it a bit confusing, but you don't get video on Discord.
So near as I can figure out, you can't stream video inside of a server. So NosillaCast is a server. You can do video in Discord, but you can't squish it into or channel it into your server. And like if you're listening both places, that's gonna drive you nuts. You don't have to mute Discord, just leave the voice channel. So just at the bottom left-hand corner, there's a little hang up button. You can hang up from listening to the live show.
So just be aware, the reason some people listen on on Discord is because it's real time, more or less real time, whereas the video and the audio from Hangouts will be about 30 seconds behind.
Yes, what he said. All right. Yes, go to podfeed.com/wingman. Yeah, and Kevin, you know what that means? If you're ever fired, I can put Brett's data there instead of yours. Just saying. Back more.
Dumb questions. How do I? What is?
How come I always have to?
It's time for Dumb Question Corner.
I think one of the main reasons I love Dumb Questions is because I love that jingle from Victor Callao. It makes me laugh every single time. Well, Harold sent in a lovely note and included a dumb question for the show. Here's his note. Dear Allison, several months ago, I started listening to the NosillaCast after discovering and listening to all episodes of Taming the Terminal. I haven't skipped a single week ever since. Many thanks for putting a big smile on my face every week when I listen to your podcast. It is such a pleasure to listen to you and Bart. Shoot, you know what? I asked him his wife's name, and I want to call her out.
Call her out.
You know,
give
her a
shout out.
Okay. There it is. Harold. Touch. Okay. Where is it? No. Ah, shoot. No, that's his notice. He wrote to Bart also, but he wrote, oh, there, Hester. Okay. All right, let's see. It is such a pleasure to listen to you. Okay. It is such a pleasure to listen to you and Bart. My wife also started listening. She is a happy Mac user while I am enjoying Windows. We both love using our iPhone. My dumb question is, why are you so interested in accessibility? Well, I'm going to start out by giving a big shout out to Harold and to his wife, Hester, for being true NosillaCast ways, getting into all the geekery. This is awesome. Well, in case you're wondering, oh, shoot. Got it. I did not. I got to fix the text.
And did you put a chapter marker in?
Yeah, I did. Why did that block quote? Okay, something is, I think it's because he. Oh, that's what's wrong.
Bad HTML?
Yeah, the more tag was in the middle of the block quote and it made the quote wrong.
That'll do it every time.
Yeah, so I started answering him. Well, I'm going to start out by giving a big. Okay. Why are you so interested in accessibility? In case you're wondering, I am visually impaired myself and hence appreciate your focus on accessibility. By the way, I'm catching up with Programming by Stealth. It'll take some time, though. I'll stay subscribed as long as you keep podcasting. Harold from the Netherlands. Well, I do have to say that I want to make sure I give a big shout out to Harold and his wife, Hester, because they sound like true NosillaCastaways. I am confused. For some reason recently, I've been hearing from a lot of Netherlands listeners. And I mean, that's awesome, but it's really interesting when I see like a whole country just start to show up a lot. Now, my focus is mostly on blind accessibility because those are the people who talk to me the most, to be honest. But this all started a very, very long time ago. When I was around 11 or 12 years old, I read a book called Follow My Leader by James Garfield. This is a book about a little boy who's playing with firecrackers and becomes blinded when one goes off unexpectedly. The book takes you through his journey of anger and denial and his desire that corners of things should be padded just for him. He eventually gets a seeing eye dog, which he names Sirius after the dog star. He learns Braille in a special school. The author included in the book a picture of what the dots look like on a Braille keyboard for each letter of the alphabet. Well, I was so intrigued by this that I took a piece of cardboard. Hang on, it's not a keyboard, but I have to go get something.
That's pretty cool, John. That rover, wow. So that is powered, it appears. Battery powered, I assume. Wow.
This is the book.
Oh, you found it.
I mentioned it a few years ago to my friend Margaret, and she went out and bought me a copy of it. So this is not my original copy, but I think I want to back up a little bit. I said Braille keyboard, and it was just Braille. So what were you guys talking about?
Oh, John's showing this rover challenge that high school and college students participate in, and he posted a photo of it in there. One of them.
Okay.
The rover challenge.
We need to move on. It's quarter till, and I have a lot more to record. Now, my focus is mostly on blind accessibility because those are the people who talk to me the most, to be honest. Okay, yeah, we are definitely going to be after class. There's no question about it. Now is the part where I'm going to actually start recording stuff. Well, the story starts quite a long time ago. When I was around 11 or 12 years old, I read a book called Follow My Leader by James Garfield. This is a book about a little boy who's playing with firecrackers and becomes blinded when one goes off unexpectedly. The book takes you through his journey of anger and denial and his desire that all corners of things should be padded just for him. He eventually gets a seeing eye dog, which he names Sirius after the dog star. He learns Braille in a special school. The author included in the book a picture of what the dots look like on Braille for each letter of the alphabet. I was so intrigued by this that I took a piece of cardboard and I used a punch to make myself a Braille alphabet so I could teach myself Braille by feel. That was my first foray I had into accessibility and accessible tech, if you will. And I remember thinking it was really neat that there was this secret code for blind people. Later in life, my mother got macular degeneration and was legally blind for the last 30 or so years of her life. She was a real trooper and got all kinds of cool accessibility gadgets and let me play with them. Then when I got into podcasting, several blind people started writing to me, and I realized audio podcasts are pretty much the most awesome thing ever for the blind. At the first podcast expo I attended, I met a gentleman named Daryl Shandro of the Blind Access Journal, and he worked on my education in the field even more. The next year at the Podcast Expo, I met blind musician, recording studio owning podcaster Slough, who took me even further. Eventually at Macworld one year, I did a tech talk called Blindfolded, where I did my entire presentation on iPhone and Mac while blindfolded. I couldn't have done this without a vast staff of encouraging blind people who gave me tips and tricks along the way and encouraged me to keep at it. Those people included Daryl and Slough, also Buddy Brannon, Dan Eckmeyer, Shane Jackson, Donald Breda, Keith Watson, Joshua Loya, Kevin Chow, Scott Howell, James Austin, Bill Holton, Dennis Bartlett, and Laura Schindler, who isn't blind but teaches the blind in Los Angeles. So you can see how much fun this is with this much encouragement and help. Over the years, blind accessibility has just become part of the fabric of the show, and I'm so pleased to be able to see now accessibility as part of the mainstream conversation, not as something you add later. That's been a huge shift over the years. So thanks for asking the question, Harold. I thought I'd answered this before, but I looked and I don't believe I ever officially answered it in full on the podcast. All right. Uh-oh, they're leaving? You're muted, dear.
They're just talking about leaving. I think it's led by Dorothy, who says if she doesn't leave on time, she misses her dinner.
Uh-oh.
Cats will eat it.
All right. So do I put in chapter markers for Patreon and Amazon?
I think you should. Well,
how many people are going to jump to it as opposed to jump away from it?
Okay. Yeah.
All right, fine. Here we go. I did one anyway. You've probably noticed by now that this show is not ad supported, but it does cost money to produce the shows for you, and that's why we have two business models to help pay for hosting and gear. I'd like to thank Sorry. Actually, I should put, I'll put in, actually, that's a good reason to do it, is to put in the URL, like Steve just did. All right. This week, I'd like to thank James Tisdale for deciding to become a patron. You know what? Try to pronounce the guy's name right. This week, I'd like to thank James Tisdale for deciding to become a patron of the Podfeet podcast. I mean, that's just fun to say, right? Anyway, through Patreon, James was able to choose an amount per show that was right for him and his family. The other way the show is supported is by people using the Amazon affiliate links when they buy things I talk about on Amazon. Now, here's a little tip you may not know. Even if you're not in the United States, if you're in England, Canada, or Germany, maybe I need to add the Netherlands, you can still use Amazon affiliate links to help the show. All you have to do is go to podfeet.com/Amazon, and on that page, you're going to see the flag for your country. Actually, you can go to podfeet.com/funwithflags if you get that joke. That also takes you to the Amazon flags by country. Click there on your flag, and anything you buy may send a small percentage to help support the podcast. Now, I would like to remind our UK and Canadian listeners to really try to remember to use those Amazon affiliate links for your country, because our German listeners are really good about using theirs. But I got to say, the UK and Canada are falling way behind Germany in remembering to use their affiliate links. Now, you can't let that happen, right?
I wonder how Steven's going to react to that one.
Oh, good. You put the Fun with Flags thing out there?
No, that was just your affiliate link, your Amazon affiliate link.
Oh, perfect. /Amazon. That takes you to the Fun with Flags page.
Oh, okay. Got it. And that's the first image.
Is it? Maybe I should put a different, okay. Let's see. We're going to go to Orcam next. I'm not going to play Orcam.
Kevin is reminding you, chapter marker.
Thank you. Well, I'll start working on that while the Drobo responds. All right. And copy that URL. Hopefully the Orcam is paying attention. There you go. All right, we will put Orcam up there. I'll put Orcam there. Wait, oh, there we go. All right. That's that. That happened, right? Okay. Go. Well, after seeing the Orcam My Eye 2.0 and several other similar products at CSUN, it got me to thinking about whether these dedicated physical devices really still have a real place in accessibility going forward. I say this because there are now some apps for Android and iOS that provide a lot of the same kind of functionality without the need for a dedicated device. Let's take a look at one of those right now. All right. And now, whoops, I need a chapter marker. Oh, there's a broken link. Let me just write this link. Amazon. In the main page. Uh-oh.
Chapter marker?
Yes.
Good job, Kevin.
Thank you. So, this is an app from Microsoft, of all places. Now, the CAI, there it is. Okay, this can be a long one too. Sorry.
You don't have to play it.
No, I have to record it, dear.
Wait a minute. I thought
CAI
this was a CSUN.
No, we're done with the CSUN.
Oh, okay. The second one. You did Orcam My Eye?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. It's already leaving. No, we already did that.
I know. I'm just giving him a link in
Give him the
case.
Seeing AI one.
You got to start it.
I'm going to, if you just... Okay, bye-bye. Thank you, Kevin. What's on your ceiling? Or on that vertical wall, there's like, did you throw an egg at your wall?
No, it's a plaque says, "Bless this house."
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Maybe
Hopefully,
I gotta make
I
it
think
look...
Kevin needs some blessing right there.
Oh, it does. Look at that. A little scary though. Okay. Stop bothering me. I have recording to do. Okay. Well, I'm going to talk about an accessibility app called Seeing AI developed by Microsoft. And while you might not need this yourself, it's fascinating. It's a free tool for iOS that has huge capabilities. I'm going to walk through how I heard about it and the problem it originally solved, and then I'm going to do some crazy multimedia. I took a series of short videos using iOS's built-in recording function of each of the tools within Seeing AI. The videos are embedded over in the blog post, and you can look at those as I go along, but I'm going to play the audio from them for the podcast, setting up what's going to happen in each segment. I was alerted to Seeing AI by Kevin Jones after I did the review of the Night Eyes Taglit, the little LED lights I clamp on my shirt for walking Tesla in the evening to keep from being plowed down by an unobservant motorist. Kevin is blind and wanted to know if there was any physical indicator on the taglit that would tell him whether the light was on, off, or blinking. Since there wasn't a physical indicator on the taglets, he asked if I'd test a free app called Seeing AI for Microsoft. This app, like I said, does a ton of cool stuff, and I'll walk you through it, but let's start with that problem from Kevin. Seeing AI is available in the App Store, of course, and there's a link in the show notes to it. When you launch Seeing AI, there will be a series of buttons across the bottom, the last of which says Light. After tapping on Light, I held the taglit under the camera on my iPhone, and I heard a solid, low tone. Then I clicked on the taglit, and as the light turned on, the phone started playing a higher pitched tone. I clicked on the taglit again, which makes the light blink, and then I could hear an alternating high-low tone from Seeing AI. One more click, and the light went off, and the Seeing AI gave me the solid low tone again. All right, let's listen to the recording of Seeing AI playing the sound. So if you listen carefully, you'll actually hear the slight click when I'm actually clicking the taglit, followed by the tones indicating what the light is doing. Okay, Tessa, what are you doing here? Now I have to get all these little audio record. Oh, that's good, Tessa. This is going to be a lot of work.
Is her collar off?
Yes. Okay. Oh, wow. This one's really loud. Oh, good. It's cranking way down by itself.
Kevin's asking if you put a chapter marker in for this one.
I did.
Good job.
Okay, here we go. What the light is doing. Is that cool? Okay, here we go.
So I told them to go. Oh, you're recording? Go ahead. Go ahead.
What did you tell them to do? To go over to the website and watch the videos as we do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay. Well, I think we can categorically say that Seeing AI easily will tell Kevin whether his taglit is turned on, off, or blinking. But I couldn't stop there. I had to see what else Seeing AI could do. In the next set of tools, you'll hear Seeing AI read things out to us. If you're blind and have voiceover enabled, Seeing AI will do the reading and it won't speak out loud. I think it's pretty cool that Seeing AI will read out loud for those with low vision, and it's also useful for those with sight who want to test out its features and learn more about the power of the tools. But for the people using voiceover will have all of the sounds coming out of the voiceover voice. So Seeing AI's first button is entitled Short Text. They don't define short text, but I interpret it as anything that's not a full document. With short text, Seeing AI will read to you real time while doing optical character recognition on the fly. In testing Seeing AI, it's really tempting for me to hold things up perfectly aligned and in view of the camera since I have the gift of sight. To stop my natural tendencies, I put on the blindfold I used for my tech talk at Macworld back in 2012, the one I just finished telling you about, where I demonstrated voiceover on iOS and the Mac completely blindfolded. Of course, I still had my blindfold. I mean, duh. Well, I tested it on a tube of sunscreen for which I could not read the ingredients at all, even with my reading glasses. And while not perfect, it was a lot better than reading without them. In the audio you're about to hear, I'm holding up to the camera the box for my Ring chime. I start by holding it perfectly in view, and then I start making it more challenging, holding it at crazy angles. Oh, shoot. Voice is going again. That'll give me a chance to prove to you that I still have my blindfold.
Wait, it's not quite centered. Center those.
You might want to screenshot, Steve.
Hold on.
All right, already.
Got it.
Okay. So, where was I? Oh, my voice. Holding it at crazy angle. Okay, I'm going to start back here. In the audio you're okay. There we go. In the audio you're about to hear, I'm holding up to the camera the box for my Ring chime. I start by holding it perfectly in view, and then I start making it more challenging, holding it at crazy angles. You will hear it say "it." Oh, that's good, Steve. Yeah, that's a keeper. I think that needs to be the featured image for this week's show.
Might need to be, yep.
In the video you're about to hear, I'm holding up to the camera the box for my Ring chime. I start by holding it perfectly in view, and then I start making it a little more challenging for the app, holding it at crazy angles. You will hear it refer to IT as though it's an acronym, but the word should be "it." In the third set of things it read, the box is at a 45-degree angle with the text nearly upside down. I thought this was really impressive. I'm so smart, man. Put all of these in a folder and I put them in order with numbers. Oh, bye, Rose. Mwah. I'll send it early. Impressive.
Short text. In the box, Ring chime X 1.88 inches X 1.38 inches, wall plug adapters, domestic, plug IT in, set IT up, link your Ring doorbell. Tones, OO, multiple tones, do not disturb, volume control.
That was it.
Volume control.
Okay, like I said, pretty good. Now let's say you've got a full page you need to read. This is where the document tool comes into play. Again, testing with my blindfold, I put a white piece of paper with printed text on it down on my brown faux wood desk. I heard Seeing AI tell me that it couldn't see the upper left corner, so I moved in that direction. And it said the bottom right was missing. Duh, that must mean I'm too close. It gives you these verbal instructions to not only tell you how to align the document, but also to make sure you're far enough away that it can see the whole thing. Once I was far enough away, it told me to hold steady, and then I heard the camera shutter. After that, it played a little tune for maybe 2 to 3 seconds and said, processing. At that point, nothing else happened, so I had to peek out from under my blindfold. Seeing AI was now displaying the entire document completely OCR'd already for me. On the bottom left was a play and stop button, which when pressed would read out the text. If you have VoiceOver turned on, you can just drag your finger over the text and it would already read it out loud, or you can hit the play stop button. But if you're low vision, there's also an A+ and an A- symbol that when tapped increases and decreases it for easier reading. Oh man, Steve, there's a question mark in the middle of this. You must have left that when you were editing.
Okay.
Decreases and then it says 3 question marks for easier reading.
Yeah, because that was blank.
Okay.
What did
Change
you
it
mean?
to text.
Text, okay.
Okay. All right, I'm going to keep going. I like that the document setting is useful for the blind and visually impaired. That's really cool to see the dual use. Now, one morning, the OCR is highly dependent on how much light you have on your document. I got some poor results, so I moved a bright light over the document and it did much better at recognizing the characters. Now, the good news is, if you're blind, you can use the light function in Seeing AI to find out if you have adequate lighting. All right, let's listen to the document tool in action. Unfortunately, there is a conflict between Seeing AI reading out loud and the screen recorder functionality in iOS, so I wasn't able to capture the reading part itself. I can tell you, though, that it was well over 90% accurate in OCR accuracy, though.
Document. Left edge not visible. Top and right edges not visible. Top left corner not visible. Hold steady. Processing.
Right.
Processing.
Okay, a little anticlimactic that you didn't get to read it, but hear it read. But trust me, it was really, really good. Well, the next one isn't nearly as big of a challenge. It's called product, and the problem it solves is identifying a product by its barcode. If you're a sightling, it's pretty easy to line up the barcode under the camera, but how the heck do you do that if you can't see? Seeing AI solves this in an interesting, audible way. It gives you a fast beeping sound if it sees a barcode, and then makes a tone when it thinks it has captured the code. In the recording you'll hear it try and fail to find the barcode, and then the second time succeed. I did it on 3 different packages, and even though I'm not holding the boxes aligned properly at all, it identifies all 3 products successfully using their barcodes. Whoa, that's a long gap in between those two. I think I will cut some of that out. In between these, I got a long gap. Hey, Tessa, just change my edit points. It's not my fault if this is bad.
I think she was asking you to put a chapter marker in there.
I'm still in the middle of the same one. Bye, Dave. Using their barcodes.
Processing. Not recognized. Not recognized. Processing. Smart home camera Wizicam 1080p HD wireless night vision 2-way audio white Wizic. Process. Belkin 6700 mAh Valet charger power pack for Apple Watch and iPhone. Process. Ring chime white doorbell extender.
That was pretty good. All right. Sorry. Let's see.
Chime white doorbell extender.
Well, it didn't necessarily pronounce everything correctly. That was the Wise Cam in the second one, but it definitely identified all 3 of those products. Now, I'm not sure the next feature would be super useful or rudely intrusive in real life, but it's called Person. And the object is it's to help you identify people. The idea is that you can take 3 photos of someone with Seeing AI, and then you give the person a name. The camera gives feedback on whether you've gotten them in the frame, but they suggest you have the person take their own picture for you. I think letting the person take the photos make it a little bit less weird when you use it. Anyway, after you've stored the person in your Seeing AI app, you can simply point your phone at them and it will tell you who they are and tell you how far away they are. I used Seeing AI to take pictures of Steve and me, and it was flawless in telling us apart. Hang on, I heard a crack in the middle of that. Simply point your phone at them and it will tell you who they are and tell you how far away they are. I used Seeing AI to take pictures. I tested this on Dorothy too, and it worked. I used Seeing AI to take pictures of Steve and me, and it was flawless at telling us apart. I know we're really similar, being born on the same day, only 4 hours apart, so that's pretty amazing. Anyway, here's what it sounds like as I hold the phone facing first Steve and then flip the camera around towards me and then back. God, I did a good job at naming these things. I'm not normally this good at this stuff. Get rid of some of that gap. A little less boring. There's kind of some gaps in here. Boy, Steve's doing a good job being quiet. He left. Down towards me and then back.
Person. Steve near top edge. Steve near center 2 feet away. Allison near center 2 feet away. Steve near center 3 feet away. Steve near top edge 4 feet away. Steve near center 8 feet away. One face near right edge 3 feet away. Allison near right edge 3 feet away. Allison near center 8 feet away.
Actually, I think I'll cut a couple of those off.
Allison near right edge 3 feet away.
I guess I should have mentioned that while Steve and I were doing this recording, we were moving back and forward, moving away, and that's why you're hearing the distances change as well. I didn't do a video on this, but when I was with Dorothy today, I took pictures of her, and it could identify her and me separate as well. So not just a man with a beard versus me. So that's a little more impressive. The famous blind jazz musician Ray Charles is reported to have insisted on always being paid in single-dollar bills so he could be certain he wasn't being cheated. With Seeing AI's currency reader, he wouldn't have needed to do that. Seeing AI is not the first iOS app to solve this. I told you about Looktel's Money Reader app way back in 2011, but it's cool that this feature is being folded into Seeing AI. The tool is called Currency, but it's labeled Currency Preview to designate it as an experimental tool. Not sure at first why that was, because it's not that hard to identify money versus a person, right? Well, here's a quick demo where I hold a $1 and a $20 bill at all kinds of crazy angles, showing only part of the bill to the camera, and it does correctly identify them. Currency. Okay, wow, there are big gaps in the middle of this. This might actually be boring. Cut those. Yeah, I wouldn't want to listen to me this long. This might be too many of them. Let's listen. Correctly identify them.
Currency preview. $1 US. $1 US. $1 US.
Yeah, let's get rid of the third time. Oops. All right.
$1 US. $20 US. $1 US.
I got the idea.
$1 US. $20 US.
All right. Okay.
$20 US.
Well, it obviously was pretty good at that. Currency Preview also has options to identify British pounds, Canadian dollars, and euros. We had some British and European currency, but oddly, Currency Preview stayed completely silent when those options were set. I guess that's the experimental part they were talking about. They haven't finished that part just yet. The next experimental tool is supposedly to identify scenes. To use scene, you point at the area you want to identify and then tap on the screen for it to take a picture. You hear the happy thinking sounds and the word processing, and then it comes back with text that it reads out loud telling you what it found. From there, you can save the photo it took, share the image, or close the image. In this demo, I pointed it first at my bathroom from an angle where you can only see the sinks, cabinet, and mirror. Next, I pointed at Tesla asleep on her dog bed. And finally, I pointed at my bed and dresser with a window behind it. Let's hear what it says. Okay, we're going to kill a lot of dead time in this. So we're faking how fast it does it, just so you know. This would be really boring. It's not too bad when you're looking at it, but it's boring like that. Window behind it. Let's hear what it says.
Scene preview. Processing. A room filled with furniture and a large mirror. Processing. A large brown dog lying on a rug. Processing. A bedroom with a large bed in a hotel room.
I like that.
I liked a large brown dog lying on a rug, which is right behind you right now. Who is right behind? And a hotel room. Our room looks like it's weird.
So either our house looks like a Motel 6 or we're as classy as the Four Seasons. I don't know
or
which.
somewhere in between.
Maybe I should say that. I think I will.
A bedroom with a large bed in a hotel room.
Well, I don't know if that means that our bedroom looks like a Motel 6 or maybe the Four Seasons. It's hard to tell. Anyway, it was a little bit comical what it came up with. After this demo, I was playing with it and I took a picture of just part of my computer screen with not much showing on screen. It came back with probably a screenshot of an open laptop computer sitting on a desk. I got to tell you, for what it saw, that was a really good description. Well, another experimental feature is called color preview. I'm not going to play a recording of this because it's kind of boring. You're just going to hear color names. It does say the colors, but I got to tell you, it's highly dependent on lighting for accuracy. I'm not really sure it'd be of that much use, but maybe I didn't understand the use case. I did play around this at Dorothy's house, and the lighting was really good. And it basically says everything is gray, black, or brown. Maybe a little bit of white once in a while, but it definitely doesn't have any kind of subtle things. You know, you're not going to hear it say aubergine. Well, probably the tool that surprised me the most is called handwriting preview. My handwriting isn't illegible, but it's also kind of weird. I simply can't seem to decide whether I should be printing or using cursive, so my text is kind of random. Within a single word, it'll switch. I read once that someone who's writing changes mid-word from printed to script and back has some sort of psychopathy. Either way, I figured my random handwriting would give Seeing AI a run for its money. I wrote on a pad of paper the words, "Hi, this is Allison Sheridan. I'm a podcaster with an ever so slight Apple bias." In the demo you'll hear, I first bring the camera over the pad with it right side up and centered. Now, with no indicators to tell me whether it can see the page or the text, it suddenly says processing and then speaks the exact words I wrote. I did notice that it said command at the beginning, but after watching it a couple of times, I finally figured out why. My keyboard was slightly viewable in the upper left and the command key was showing, which is pretty funny. But next in the audio, you'll hear I turned the paper so it was at a diagonal. You will hear pretty much complete gibberish coming out of Seeing AI with that angle, but a few of the correct words are still in there. Then I turn the page upside down and you'll hear only gibberish. Finally, I put it back upright and you hear the text clearly read at that point. No, this one. There we go. This one's pretty cool. Wow, there are long gaps in this.
By the way,
yeah.
You talked about the different views that Tom's got, including the insets. If you double click live, the live button.
What are you talking about?
The video.
What video?
The Hangouts video.
What?
The Hangouts video that you're looking at?
Oh, gosh. You're bringing up a conversation from like day before yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's how you get between those two scenes. Double click on live. At least it works for me. I don't know if it does as the broadcaster.
Oh, so now you're on film forever. Like that? Can you guys see Steve when I'm talking? Is he there now?
It's delayed about 30 seconds. We'll see if this works.
Well, good. I want you to have to be seen on video. Uh-huh. You said you can change that?
No, I don't think I can change it for what's being broadcast. It's just my view.
Good, I can. Okay, let's listen to this. Hear the text clearly read at that point.
Handwriting preview. Processing. Command: Hi, this is Allison Sheridan. I am a podcaster with an ever so slight Apple bias. Processing. Alizo at M Potter Soling Hi, the ever biased JIN app. Processing. Hit comment command song naughty trying as gave no yim stop Melina plays Losset S. Smith. Processing. Command common Hi, this is Allison Sheridan. I am a podcaster with an ever so slight Apple bias.
I love that.
What the heck was that? Was the paper turned incorrectly?
That's what I said. The paper was upside down.
Okay.
Is that the middle one? Let's see.
Hit comment command song naughty trying escape.
Song naughty trying. Song naughty trying escape.
Hit comment command song naughty trying as gave no yim stop Melina plays Losset S.
Oh, that's funny. All right.
Good.
I am a podcaster with an ever so slight Apple bias.
Okay, every time I hear that upside down part of gibberish, it just really cracks me up. That was pretty funny. So I guess handwriting preview is only useful if you hear the gibberish, that means you're holding it wrong. So it's impressive, but a little more challenging to review. So I guess each time you hear gibberish, turn it 90 degrees until you hear something intelligible. That's all I can advise. But that is pretty impressive. You'd also have to flip back and forth between short text and handwriting to figure out what's on that paper in the first place. Because if you have it on short text and you're showing it handwriting, it won't know what to do, and vice versa. And if you can't see, you can't tell whether it's short text or handwriting. Anyway, in conclusion, Seeing AI is an amazingly powerful tool set that is free from Microsoft. I really do like the new Microsoft with their increased focus on accessibility and, of course, their support for iOS. I highly encourage you to download Seeing AI and play with it for yourself. It's a lot of fun. Right. Okay, so you fixed that question mark, right?
I did. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to close it.
Chapter mark?
I think we're just closing out the show. There is a link somewhere that's broken. Okay. There's an article. Oh,
Sorry.
What?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, dear.
No, I just didn't think you were transmitting on the voice channel, but you are.
Okay.
Start again.
Thank you, dear. There's an article over at iAccessibility.net by Michael Dwaz, who he compares the Orcam My Eye 2.0 that I talked about, that we interviewed, and Seeing AI that I just talked about. If you're interested in hearing from someone who maybe is without so clumsy, and someone is totally misspelled. Hang on. I'm sorry I've kept you so far after class. We will get going here any second now. There's an article over at iAccessibility.net by Michael Dwaz. He compares the Orcam My Eye to... Why am I stuttering? Okay, one more time. I'm in the closing part here. There's an article over at iAccessibility.net by Michael Dwaz. In this article, he compares the Orcam My Eye 2.0, that's the people you heard the interview about in early in the show, and Seeing AI. And it might be interesting to read if you're interested in hearing from someone who doesn't have vision, who makes a comparison between these two tools. Well, that's going to wind us up for this week. Do not forget to send in your dumb questions, comments, and suggestions by emailing me at allison@podfeed.com. Remember, if you email me a dumb question, I get to play the dumb question corner music from Victor Cahiel, and we all love that. So send me some dumb questions. You can also follow me on Twitter at Podfeed. And we already talked about this, but everything good starts with podfeed.com. You want the Patreon link? Podfeed.com/Patreon. You want to join the Facebook community, which is a lot of fun. That's at podfeed.com/Facebook. Hate Facebook? That's okay. We got a Google Plus community. A lot of fun people over there too. Podfeed.com/Google Plus. If you want to join in the Discord chat, go over to podfeed.com/chat. If you want to click those Amazon affiliate links, want to find your flag, podfeed.com/Amazon. And if you want to join in the fun of the live show, head on over to podfeed.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic NosillaCastaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. Oh, man, is my throat tired.
I wonder if that broke a record on the runtime.
No, it's only 40 minutes.
No. I'm talking about the video length.
Oh, it might have.
Hour 20.
It might have. That's because somebody had me read. How long was that, dear?
That was 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Still would have been long. Hey, if you want dinner, I need to go now.
I do want dinner.
Okay. I'm signing off.
All right, guys.
I'll leave my channel open but blank.
You going to leave the recording? How about you hang up from the audio, though?
Yes.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, Steve. All right, now we can talk about him. As long as Kevin's not here to stop me, I can say whatever I want, right? See what that sounds like. Anyways, thanks for listening and stay subscribed. Whew. All right. Got us. Oh, yeah, I got Kevin to stay. Ha ha. Okay, we're going to export this. I hope it's good. That was a lot of work. My throat hurts. I have been, man, so tired of this. By the way, I would like you to notice that I never point out when I'm sick. One of my pet peeves is people who have a cold and on their podcast, they talk about the fact that they have a cold. Well, you know what? Everybody can tell if you have a cold, right? You can hear it in their voice. You don't want to hear about it. Like, what do you want to talk about? Snot? That's just a thing. Anyway, I do not talk about having my cold, except for you guys, because you guys are just here and, what are you going to do? Hey, TJ, I am still waiting for permission to send that email. Your last email said, waiting for him to say if it's okay. And I'm thinking maybe you think you finished that, but you didn't. So am I cleared to go on the email? You love talking about boogers with Barton. Yeah, actually, good point. Good point, Brett. You're right. It's, I know, but you told me I had to wait until he said it was okay. In that same email, you said, wait till he says it's okay. So I've been waiting. I think maybe you meant, well, I don't know what you meant, but is it okay? Give me a thumbs up. Brett, great point. Great point, Brett. I do like talking about boogers and snot. Okay, good. It is all right. I think it's good to keep my boogers and snot conversation separated from the NosillaCast. That's all I'm saying. All right, I am probably going to shut down here so I can go get another refreshment. And I am going to work on the podcast. So I thank you guys all for coming and staying late after class. It's Steve's fault. Those 7 minutes cost 22 minutes, apparently. All right. Bye, everybody. See you next week.